Hi YouTube, this is Freda. I just want to do some tarot talk. If you notice, look at my tarot, this tarot table. It's a mess and I had just cleaned it. But I was going through some of my decks and I've always told you guys I like to use new decks. Or, new decks means for me, it doesn't physically have to be new. It's just new to me. I could have had it for a while. I could have had decks for years, but I just usually don't utilize them. So this is what I use YouTube for. So one of my decks you'll be seeing me, the decks I'm going to show you are the ones that you'll be seeing my readings with in the next, my next readings, the readings I use. I am dying to use this deck, which is the Colleen Hardy deck. It was the green one. I think it was it was the orange and black one. I don't know where I got green from. And I loved it because, like I've always said, I don't like decks that are white, even white borders or anything. Black doesn't really bother me. I kind of liked this deck, and I really wanted to use it. So I love I don't know if you can see it, some of her, her imagery. The Empress. I like the three-headed Empress, the triple goddess, basically. The Emperor. So you'll be seeing me use this one. I'm excited to add this to, my used collection, that I'm using with you guys. So I'm going to be using this one. I love that strength card. Because strength card, I love a strength card because that's my birth card and I have a very special connection and I love that strength card. So this is the Colleen Hardy Tarot. I think it's called the Hardy Tarot. So I'll be using that. This one I want to use. I've had this one. This one I bought when I was on the last bat. The Bay Area tarot spats in California for tarot community. I bought this and I met this creator who was Charlene. So I love this deck. I haven't really utilized it, but I really want to. So you'll see me trying to use this in my readings. I have a few circle decks that I don't usually utilize in my private readings. So we'll see how this goes. I had an instant connection with this deck when I got it. I haven't read the book. I have a book that goes with it, but I haven't read the book. I always buy the books. I always support the author. So if they have a book, I'll buy it. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll read it, but I'll buy it, to support. Because I always look at them as, okay, that was your impression of the card. I like to use my own first impression. And then if I have a kind of, I don't understand something, then maybe I'll go back to the book to see why they incorporated something in the card. But like I always say, the imagery talks to me first, and then I'll think about what the card actually is, what Sue and, what the card usually is. But I like the imagery to talk to me first. So I really want to use this deck. See, like, this is an interesting Nine of Wands. Usually you think of the Nine of Wands in a defense position, standing your ground, defending, and, she's completely at ease. It's like she has enough power within herself that she doesn't need to defend herself. You know what I'm saying? That she doesn't need to defend herself. That she has enough strength on the outside that puts some distance between her and the people that want to attack. So that's how I'm reading that card. It could be, she's very in her presence and she's not intimidated. That's how I'm reading that card. So that's interesting. So that's going to be a deck. Of course, I've shown this deck too. I want to use this deck in my readings. I've shown this deck. I've done the walkthrough. So you'll see me using this deck in my readings. So you'll see this deck now. Also, excuse me, I want to use this deck, which this deck is a little different for me. This deck is going to, I have a hard time like photograph decks. I have another one, but I think this deck is so beautiful, but I really got to try to understand this deck a little bit. So we'll see how this goes, because you know, look at this card. For me, this 10 of Wands, I mean 10 of Water to me is 10 of Cups. And 10 of Cups is like a coming together of family, joy, you know, fulfillment, everything is good. But look at this 10 of Water. This 10 of Water leaves me feeling longing, like, you know, she's longing for company, like for maybe that family, you know, maybe there's some cloudiness, you know, with her relationships, you know, maybe there's you know, things aren't as smooth with her relationship. She's kind of have a longing, she's kind of out here by herself, you know, and even though she's at peace, you know, she's at peace, there's still a part of her that is longing for more. So that doesn't necessarily mean what the 10 of Waters would be, but for me, when I look at that card, that's what it's telling me. So I love how a lot of people comment, oh, that's not what that means, you know, you should learn tarot. That's not what I've always said. I am intuitive. I've learned tarot. Trust me, I have researched, I have studied for many of times. I could give you book definitions on all the tarot cards. I don't care what the book definitions, because if you read 10 different tarot books, you're going to get 10 different answers on the same card. It's very subjective. It's what you feel about a card. You know, it's what that card brings out in you. It's individual. So, you know, you can get 10 books, and 10 books give you 10 different answers. That's one thing about like the magical system of what is that magical system? I can't even think of it. Where the Pamela, no, the one that Toth was in. What is that? I can't even think. But in that magical system, you know, part of your initiation and part of you know, learning their system of magic is that you have to create your own tarot deck. It's like a must. You have to create your own tarot deck. So everybody has a different opinion. If you get 10 people in the room, they're going to give you 10 different answers. 10 people in the room have 10 different type of card, which one is their favorite, you know, and what it means to them. So you can't necessarily, you know, in the beginning, yeah, you know, I always say mix your definition with the book definition. But once you feel comfortable with, you know, a basic knowledge of tarot, then expand on it and make it your own. You know, there's no rules in tarot, and I hate when people say there's rules and you have to do it this way. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can make a divination system out of anything. You can do anything. So, but so I'm gonna try to use this deck. It's kind of different. Like, I don't really see the Queen of Fire in this card, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to draw. I love the imagery, but like some of it, look at the 8 of Air. I love that, you know. But the Page of Water, I can see that. But like the 9 of Air, you know, some of the imageries I don't see what they're trying to explain. So I might have to look at this book. I haven't looked at it. So there goes that. So I'm going to use that. This one is basically an intuitive deck. I have 1 and 2. I was just going to mix them together, even though they have 2 different color backgrounds. I think one is like, I think the other one's like a reddish color in this one, but there's no words, and it's very intuitive. This is the Soul card. This is the original one, and I got Soul card 2 for like an oracle. So, you know, you go by your intuition. What does this card feel like to you? You know, you could do a full reading with this deck, to tell you the truth, because it's all about your feelings, your intuition, what the cards are trying to, you know, trying to tell you. So I think this deck is beautiful. I don't know why I haven't utilized it, either one or two. But I'm going to try to utilize that in some readings. I know this deck is going long. One of my good tarot friends, Veronica Judge, she has a YouTube channel. Me and her are completely different in the tarot. Like, we go about tarot in a different way, but I respect how she, reads tarot, and she respects how I read tarot. It's a totally different way, and I think she's an awesome reader. And she gave me this deck, and I wanted it so bad, but I missed the deck. But I really want to use it. I was waiting for a special time to start using it. I wanted to start it with something special, but it's been sitting since she sent it to me, and I haven't used it. And every time I'm like, oh, it's special, I have to wait a little while. I have to wait for that perfect reading. But I just want, this is one of Veronica's favorite decks. So I was thinking about her. I miss you, Veronica. If you see this, I miss you, and I hope everything's okay. So this is what deck is this? It was called the 78. It was called the 78 Tarot or something like that. Oh, don't get me the line. I think it was called like the 78 Tarot. And it's like tattoo images. And so I'm going to use this in the reading. So I think I think this is now becoming like mass market. She's about to do it. I want to use this deck. This deck I've cleansed, and I haven't used it. I think this is the Pagan. Don't give me the line. I bought it from the author. It's in regular mass produced. But the author, she had a special thing that she was given if you bought from her. You get this bag, and I think I get a piece of art. I had a piece of art from her, to tell you the truth. So, usually decks like this really don't call to me. But I'm going to try to incorporate these in the reading and see how it reads for me. I'm curious, because it's been in for about, I don't know if it's been a year, whenever it came out. Since it came out, I kept saying, oh, I'm going to use it. I don't know if it's been a year, 2 years, and I haven't used it. So I'm going to use this deck, and I think this is like the Pagan Tarot. I also am going to use this one. I've had this deck forever. This is the first edition. She has it mass marketed now, the Bonfire Tarot, but this is her original. And I love the original. I love the card stock on it. But I don't get a chance to use it in readings in my professional thing. It's funny, it's now that I like simplicity in my cards. It's a little busy for me, but I still love the imagery. So, but this deck is now mass market if you're interested. It's the Bonfire Tarot. I love the imagery, but I haven't utilized it, and I've had it for a while, and I want to utilize it. And I also have the Sarah Wood by the same author, who was Gabby, and I love her. One of the cards in here she made after David Icke. So this is it's the Oracle. This is the Sarah Wood. And so this is like an Oracle deck. It's almost the same amount of cards as her tarot deck. So I want to utilize this. And this is what is this one called per se? This is the Word of Sarah Howard. The Word of Sarah Howard. So I love Gabby. she's got another deck she's coming out with. The Blues Tarot. I think it's from who is the Mexican? Freda? Is that her name? Freda, the Mexican painter. And whoops, I'm hitting it. Oh, this was 15 minutes. So, and then this one, I've had this deck for a while. I think I've done like maybe a few readings. I really haven't connected with it. It's funny, is I really haven't connected with any of the Baba Studio decks, and they're so pretty. So I'm gonna try to start reading with this deck. I mean, I've done some like on I have done some like Facebook, and I was doing daily draws and stuff every day for Facebook. I use this deck, but as in like a full reading, I haven't. So ooh, these cards are getting tore up. So I don't know why they're getting so tore up. I have a smaller one, so I want to try this deck, which is the what is this deck called? It's called the Bohemian. Oh my God, Lord, my brain is fried. Next time when I do a reading on it, I'll tell you. But it's the Bohemian something Gothic. There you go. So that one's there. I also, oh my God, this is 15 minutes. I did this on a Kickstarter, and I really want to use it. It's kind of the Hannibal. Oh, it's like Hannibal Lecter, but this is so I really want to use this deck. Hannibal Lecter. Could you imagine using these Hannibal Lecter for some of these political readings? So, you know, I think it might be interesting. I think the only thing I don't like about is these well, it has some imagery for me to go on with the minors, so maybe it'll be easy to read, but I usually like, you know, some imagery, so maybe that will be hard for me. We'll see. I haven't even tried to read with them. So this is the Burning Heart Tarot, and it's with like the Hannibal Lecter series. I know I got cards everywhere. And then I'm gonna try this one. This one is from Cyril Marchetti. It took me a while to even like Cyril's decks. I wasn't really into computer imagery. But this deck, I don't even think this was a hand-cut deck. I don't think we're really supposed to use this as, like, for readings, because it's not like, I don't know. I think it's hand-cut, and I don't know. He said it was just like a collector's edition. But I'm going to try to use it with some readings. So this is the Tarot Royale. So I would like to try to use that. Let me put that back in. I talked about this. This is the small one that I said I haven't really bonded with, and the energy is different, so I'm going to try to use that one. And I think that's enough of new cards for me. So you'll see these in my upcoming readings, and we'll see how. Oh, I wanted this one too. This last one. Look at this. This is 20 minutes. I've had this one for a while too. I seen one of my friends on Facebook had this a while ago. What's her name? Emily? I think that's her name. She's here. She has a YouTube channel too, I believe. And she was reading with it, and I was like, oh my God, I had to have it. I'm not so much into all of, you know, I think what stopped me from using it is because I don't know all, like, these goddesses and goddesses, like Oshun, Ira, you would think, Aya. I don't know all of these, or a lot of this. I'm still starting to learn, and some of this, like Baba, you know, I'm starting to learn them. But the imagery, and I always try to support as many people of colors decks, because we hardly have any, you know, out there, and it's black created, and you know, it's created and distributed and made and everything from a woman of color. And so I really want to try to use this deck. I gotta find, there's a piece of paper that kind of tells you some of the suits and stuff, not the suits, but the quartz, to give you a better understanding of the quartz. So I'll have to go look for that. But I do want to utilize this deck. I've had it for a while and I love it. I think it's gorgeous. What is this deck called? Oh my god. The Serpent? I think it's called something about the Serpent. The Serpent. Oh, I know when I use it in a reading, I'll have it. You would think I would have everything. I'll have the name. It's on Etsy, I know that. I bought it off of Etsy, and it's called The Serpent. I think it's called The Serpent something. So, it's beautiful. Alright, so that's it. I just wanted to touch base with you guys and show you the decks that you'll be seeing in the upcoming readings I'll do. I have one that I want to do on Susan Rice to see what's going on. Also, with you guys who follow my political readings, really go back and look at my General McAllister reading, and then look at my Flynn reading that I just did. Not Flynn, Kelly reading, and you'll kind of get an understanding. Because no sooner than I put the Kelly reading up, Alex Jones had a report coming in basically saying the same things I've been saying, like the next day. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a wonderful Friday. And if you do have a specific question about a deck, ask me down below, comment, and then I'll go and research the name for you. If you had a question and I didn't give out the name correctly, just ask the question. Like this deck, I know it's Serpent something, I think, but I'll give it to you down below. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.